All right, so chapter 3, section 8 notes. Have a discussion with your partner about the difference between the associative property and the commutative property. Five. How are the associative property and the commutative property different? Which group has a good answer? How are the associative property and the commutative property different? Yeah.
The commutative property, we change the order in the associative, we just put the parentheses around different numbers.
Okay, so in the commutative property we change the order, but in the associative property we change the grouping. Commutative property, change the order. In the associative property, change the grouping. Please record your answer in your notes. Commutative property, you change the order. CO, change order. But in the associative property, we change the grouping of the numbers. Next one, use mental math to solve 15 plus 8 plus 35. Use mental math. Add together 15 plus 8 plus 35. Someone please share how they added 15 plus 8 plus 35 using mental math? Bryce?
I did 5 from 15 and 5 from 35 and got 10, and then I added 10 and 15 and 30 and 30 together, and then I added the 8.
Okay, and what did you get for an answer?
15.
Okay, so I would even say 35 plus 5 is 40, plus this 10 is 50, plus 8 is 58. Okay, do the next one. Alex, explain how you use mental math to do this, please.
I took the 4 off 44 and put it on 13 space to get 60, and then added 40 and 60 and 100. And then I added 173.
Did everybody hear what he said? So the 4 here to 56 is 60, plus 40 is 100, plus 73 is 173. Okay, and the last one. Landon Sullivan, will you explain how you did it?
I did 99 plus 3, and then I got 102, and then I added 81, and I got 183.
Okay. Who else did that one? Did a different way. Lydia, how did you do it? Sorry, Lily.
I took the 1 from table, and then added it to it.
Okay. So 100 plus 80 is 180, plus 3 is 183. Good. So today we are going to, so that's all taking apart numbers, right? And deconstructing them to add them in an easier way. Well, today we're going to do the distributive property, which is kind of the same thing. So it says the 2 rectangles below are drawn on graph paper. One rectangle is 3 by 5, or 15 squares. The other rectangle is 3 by 7, or 21 squares. Now, we're going to take these two, the yellow square and the blue square, or the yellow rectangle and blue rectangle, we're going to slide them together to make one large rectangle So you can cut out and arrange the rectangle so the sides with 3 units meet. This forms a rectangle with 3 by 12 or 36 squares. Do you agree that if I add the 5 plus the 7 that you get a total of 12? And both of these are 3 wide? Okay? So there's 2 different ways that you can think about it. Notice that 3 times 5, which was here, would give me 15 squares, plus 3 times 7, which was this one, would give me 21 squares, is the same thing as saying you can have 3 times 12. Or that would be the same thing as 3 times 5 plus 7 in parentheses, or a total of 36. That's the distributive property. Okay, we'll break it down even more than that. Does anybody know what the word distribute means? If it is my job to distribute cups to everybody, or it's my job to distribute papers to you in class, what am I doing? Caleb?
Like handing them out?
I'm handing them out. Exactly. That's what the distributive property is. You're handing out something or you're sharing something equally. So look down here in this example. Do you see in the example of 3 times 5 plus 7, we were taking the width of 3 and multiplying it times this addition question of 5 plus 7? They're saying that you can distribute the 3 to the 5 and distribute the 3 to the 7 and add those 2 products together and you're going to get the same answer. Okay? Let's do an example in your notes. 8 times 4 plus 6. We are distributing the 8 in the parentheses and the 8 in the 6. So notice you've got the multiplication sign, so 8 times the 4 gives me the first parentheses. Then I record my addition sign, and 8 times the 6 gives me my second parentheses. If I was doing it algebraically, I'm multiplying the A times the B, and then I'm multiplying the A times the C, and I'm adding them two together. Or, in subtraction, it's the same thing. I can distribute the 7 to the 6, distribute the 7 to the 2, and because there was a subtraction sign, I subtract those 2 products. So let's fill it in your notes. Everybody see where this is in your notes? Yeah. So, first thing we're doing, we're distributing the 8 to the 4 and the 8 to the 6. So 8 times what in the first parentheses? 4 plus 8 times 6. Now, let's do it with the variables. We're distributing the A to everything. So A times the B is AB, and A times C is AC. There's an addition sign between them because that's what they use inside the parentheses. Now, using the subtraction one, take out your pencil and draw the 7 being distributed to the 6 and the 7 being distributed to the 2. In the first parentheses, it should be 7 times 6, then your subtraction sign, and 7 times 2 in the second parentheses. Notice it was a subtraction sign inside, so it's a subtraction sign between the 2 products. Next one, again, use your pencil, draw an arrow from the A to the B and the A to the C to show you're distributing the A. In our parentheses, it should be A times B minus A times C. 8th graders use the distributive property nearly every single day. Theirs, however, includes variables, and actually that's what 7th graders are doing today. They're doing the distributive property as well. They're reviewing it, but they're also getting introduced to doing it with variables as well. All right, use the distributive property to simplify 5 times 47. Do you agree that 47 is the same thing as 5 times 40 plus 7? Can I deconstruct 47 and call it 40 plus 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I can do that, think of 47 as 40 plus 7. We're going to multiply the 5 times the 40, which is how much? 200. Then we're going to multiply the 5 times the 7, which is how much? 35. Now you're going to add those together. 200 plus 35 is going to equal 235. Next shows why it works. Really just goes through the same thing that I just did. So we're taking the number 47 and we're taking it apart and calling it 40 plus 7. Now we're going to write that again. Write 47 as 40 plus 7. What property are we using when we take the 5 times the 40 and the 5 times the 7? Distributive. We're using the distributive property. What is 5 times 40? 200. And what's 5 times 7? And 200 plus 35 is 235. It's a quick, easy way of multiplying two numbers together. So let's try it with 5 times 68. 5 times 68. What can we call 68? 60 plus 8. So we're going to distribute the 5 to the 60 and the 5 to the 8. So in the first parentheses, you're multiplying 5 times 60. In the second parentheses, you're multiplying 5 times the 8. And what are we going to do to those two products? We're going to add them together because they were being added together inside parentheses before. How much is 5 times 60?
400.
How much?
400.
Not.
300.
It's 300. What's 5 times 8?
40.
And 300 plus 40 is?
340.
You just quickly multiplied 5 times 68 without using a calculator. Just by using the distributive property. Deconstruct 68, call it 60 plus 8, and multiply them together. So what if we did one for 4 times 89? 4 times 89. We could do one of two things. You could do 80 plus 9, or you could do a subtraction problem. What's 89 really close to? 90. So could you also call it 4 times 90 minus 1? Let's do that. Instead of making it an addition question, let's do a subtraction question. 89 would be the same thing as 90 minus 1. So we're going to multiply 4 times 90 and 4 times 1. So what's 4 times 90?
360.
Bring down the subtraction sign. What's 4 times 1?
4.
Now, what's 360 minus 4?
356.
356. Now, the more you practice this, the more you do all of this in the middle, just in your head. You don't have to write it out, paper and pencil. Do you today? Yes, because we're still practicing it, but the older you get and the better you get at it, you just do it as mental math and you don't need a calculator for multiplying them. Okay, so let's do a story problem. A student bought 4 tickets that cost $5.50. What was the total cost of the tickets? So notice we're multiplying 4 tickets times $5.50. If we took $5.50 apart, we would call it what plus what? $5 plus 50 cents. property are we using when we multiply the 4 times the 5 and the 4 times 50 cents? We're using the distributive property. What is 4 times 5? $20. And what's 4 times 50 cents? 2. So 20 plus 2 is 22. Total cost is $22. Make sure you have your dollar sign in that last box because this is a story problem representing $22. $22. Dollar sign go in front or behind?
Front.
Dollar signs always go in front. Next one. A local bookstore charges $2.80 for each used book. What is the charge for 5 used books? Do you agree that this is 5 times $2.80? So let's use the distributive property. What can we do to $2.80? Break it apart. So 2, isn't it 2 plus 80 cents to get $2.80? Or you could call it 3 minus 20 cents. Wouldn't $3 minus 20 cents also equal $2.80? Okay, now we're going to distribute the 5 to both of these. So you're going to take 5 times the 2 and 5 times 80 cents. What is 5 times 2?
10.
What's 5 times 8? How many numbers behind the decimal point? 1. So doesn't that make it $4?
Yeah.
So 10 plus 4 is 14 dollars. Last one. Circle who you think solved this question correctly, Thomas or Brian? Circle which one you think solved it correctly. Who's correct?
Yes, Thomas.
Thomas. How do you know Thomas is correct?
Because he multiplied.
What?
He multiplied.
Yeah, it's 2 times 3 and 2 times 5, correct? So 2 times 3 for the distributive property, there's an addition sign in between the parentheses, so there's an addition sign between the 2 parentheses. What's Brian's mistake? He really just mixed up his signs, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's okay. So Brian mixed up his addition and multiplication signs.
He also has a division sign. It really is.
It's addition. It's not division. It's addition.